The latest now on President Biden's bid to keep his candidacy alive after last week's debate. The Biden team pushing forward as some Democrats call on the president to step aside. Rachel Scott is tracking the race from Washington. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, George, good morning to you. In the last 24 hours alone, one Democrat has called on the president to step aside. Two others are openly saying that he cannot win the election this November. And even some of Biden's closest allies say questions about his age and mental fitness are legitimate.
This morning, as Democrats question whether President Biden should move forward with his campaign, the president is trying to explain what exactly happened on that debate stage. At a fundraiser in Virginia, the president saying he wasn't very smart for traveling internationally ahead of the debate, telling donors he, quote, almost fell asleep on stage. Some in the room laughing. The president adding, it's not an excuse, but an explanation. The president traveled to Europe twice in June, but he returned back to the United States 12 days before the debate. And sources say during his debate prep at Camp David, advisors blocked out time in the schedule for rest. For days, the White House has blamed a cold, not the president's travel schedule, insisting it was just one bad night. But some Democrats aren't buying it.
It's really not just a bad night. It is a situation that has to be addressed.
Now the first Democratic member of Congress, Lloyd Doggett of Texas, coming forward to say the president should step aside.
I salute President Biden. I just feel that it's time for him to step aside if we were to be able to protect what he allowed us to gain in 2020, which was a victory for democracy. But he delivered us from Trump then. He could be delivering us to Trump this year.
Sources tell ABC News a second lawmaker, Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, was planning to urge Biden to withdraw, but senior Democrats talked him out of it. Even some of Biden's closest allies, like former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, calling the questions about the president's mental fitness legitimate.
I think it's a legitimate question to say, is this an episode or is this a condition?
So we asked the White House.
Pelosi said it's a legitimate question to ask if this is an episode or is this is a condition. Which one is it?
Well, what I can tell you is that he had a cold and a bad night. I would not see this as an episode. I would see this as what it was and what we believe it to be, which is it was a bad night.
Some Democrats now casting doubt that Biden can win in November.
Truth, I think, is that Biden is going to lose to Trump. I know that's difficult, but I think the damage has been done by that debate.
And another ally, Congressman Jim Clyburn, said Biden should stay in the race, but if he drops out, Democrats should rally around Vice President Kamala Harris.
I will support her if he were to step aside.
A new CNN poll shows that Vice President Kamala Harris outperforms President Biden in a head-to-head matchup with Donald Trump. The White House says the president and the vice president will have lunch together today. The White House press secretary could not answer questions about whether the two have even spoken after the debate. Also today, the president is expected to meet with Democratic governors. It comes as some have raised concerns about the president's debate performance and also the path forward. Robin.
Appreciate your reporting there, Rachel. Thank you very much. And George, we know that you're going to be talking to the president later this week.
Yeah, the White House reached out yesterday, Robin. I'm going to head to Wisconsin probably on Friday, still working out the details. Of course, this will be the first broadcast interview since the debate. So many questions for the president you see coming in from his allies. So we're going to talk to him on Friday in Wisconsin, and then we'll play clips across all ABC platforms on Friday, extended interview Sunday on This Week.
Many are very anxious to hear what he has to say.
No question about that.
All right, George, thank you.